Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Hi there. I'm Stewart, and today I'd like to take you into the fascinating world of magical realism. What is magical realism, you might ask? Well, that's exactly what I'm here to answer. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Magical realism can basically be defined through the two words that make it up, magic and realism. Unlike other abstract art forms, however, magical realism melds the two in a way that makes them indistinguishable. Thus, the reality is magic, or at least the reality is a heightened version of our reality. We can look at magical realism through two main lenses, art and literature. To see magical realism in art, we first look at a typical piece of it, the Mosaic Moat by Rob Gonsalves. In magical realism style, the bricklayer is laying bricks, but they appear to be of some sort of glass substance. While this is a normal scene of a bricklayer in front of a mansion, the subtlety of making the bricks into mirrors makes this a stunning piece of work. The best way to define magical realism in art, however, might be through contrast. Magical realism and surrealism are similar art forms, but represent two very different things. To see this, we look at Salvador Dali's quintessential piece of surrealist art, The Persistence of Memory. Or, as it's known to our less sophisticated viewers, saggy clocks. This piece of art represents Dali's view that the past hangs over everything. This is the key difference between magical realism and surrealism. Surrealism comes from the symbolism of how one feels about something. Magical realism redefines the reality itself. Magical realism makes the spectacular completely normal in order to make a statement in a manner that defies logic, because it is above logic, because it redefines logic. Now, we see this same concept of redefinition of reality in literature, especially when we compare magical realism to science fiction or fantasy. Science fiction like Star Wars and Harry Potter is essentially rooted in our world, our reality, only with magical elements included. The extraordinary is fit within the rules of the ordinary, in a way. In magical realist fiction, however, what is extraordinary is indistinguishable from what is ordinary. Let's take a story, for example, The Warmth of Things by Nelita Piñón. Oscar is compelled towards being some sort of meat beast due to his constant appetite for turnovers. Oddly, he simply accepts this as a fact of life and slowly becomes accustomed to the change. Now, if this were a fantasy story, when someone noticed this transformation, Oscar would be used for good or evil or something. But because it's magical realism, little heed is paid to the odd circumstances. The reality of the story is simply strictly adhered to. So, I hope I've given you a good idea what magical realism is and what it consists of. It's basically a form of art and literature in which reality is redefined for a purpose. The purpose can often be gleaned simply from the impact on the reader, however illogical. The abstractions included in this type of art help form a literary identity that stands out and makes for an interesting and mind-opening read.